Locked in my decision to have a collision with my purpose. It is my assignment to be in alignment with my purpose. I'm locked in, going all out, no fear, no doubt. My God, my choice, your will, I'm all yours. Locked in, going all out, no fear, no doubt. My God, my choice, your will, your will, your will. Locked in my decision to have a collision with my purpose. It is my assignment to be in alignment with my purpose. Have a collision with purpose, 'cause you know that you're worth it, and your dream is worth capturing. If I'm not living on purpose, then none of it is worth it. My assignment is uplifting souls for the King, souls for the King, souls for the King.
Greetings, friends of the A Collision with Purpose movement. Welcome to the A Collision with Purpose podcast, bridging generations, voices of men in a changing world. I am Dr. Laxley Stephenson. This groundbreaking podcast delves into the multifaceted experiences of men across different generations in an era where societal norms and expectations rapidly evolve. This show offers young and older men a unique platform to voice their challenges, triumphs, and perspectives.
Hey, good evening. My name is Augusta Foster, one of your co-hosts. And in each of these episodes, we aim to foster understanding and bridge the gap between generations, exploring themes ranging from masculinity and mental health to career dynamics and personal relationships. We believe that by bringing together these voices of varied age groups, we're able to shed a light on commonalities and differences in the male experience, encouraging open dialogue and mutual learning.
So whether it's a teenager grappling with the pressures of social media or a senior reflecting on the changing definitions of manhood, Bridging Generations is committed to uncovering the real stories of men navigating the complexities of a changing world. I'm another one of your co-hosts, Juan Marcel, for this great show that we are on every Thursday at the same time. Doc, what's new this week? What's going on?
And so much is new, and if you look at the screen, you can see what is new. We have Mr. Rex Howard on with us tonight. Welcome,
Yes,
Rex.
Welcome.
Appreciate that, fellas. How y'all doing?
Doing good. King doing good.
Doing good.
Awesome.
How are you?
So what is happening this week? So much, man. This time is moving. It's clocking. You know, so one thing I know about when time is moving fast, we cannot afford to stand still, right?
Right.
What will happen if we stand still?
We're not moving.
It'll roll us, right? I know we can't. Not on voices of men. We can't afford to do that, right?
Not at all.
That's not a way to become iron, is it?
No, sir.
I'm telling you. So, some time ago, the very first show, we made a commitment. So let's talk about that commitment. And Augusta, let's start with you.
Good. So we are still in operation, feeding and doing the direct work in the community. Had an opportunity to go out with some co-workers a couple weeks back, do a little bit of community work, have another event planned that's more work related with the company that we're trying to get some outside people. And I think what I've been able to do in doing all of these with my employer, I've been able to kind of leverage some of those partnerships and glean from some of the people who are the organizers and who really do the community work, and sitting back watching them and seeing how they've introduced some of these partnerships, with like the Food Bank of Atlanta or with the Gateway Center, and saying, okay, now I can kind of, maybe develop some of these things on my own. So we are still in operation community work and affecting change with those who don't really have a lot where I live. So that's been my goal, still affecting the change of where I live, the places I see, and the people I drive by every day.
And how important is that?
Extremely.
Yes. We want to welcome anyone out there watching the live, and we ask that you share the live. It's so important that what we're going to talk about tonight, that we don't keep it to ourselves, right? We want to act like a river and not a lake, right? We don't want to store information. We want to share. We want to deposit it along the way we move, right? So, Rex, can you talk to us about commitments?
Absolutely. So I would say two things that I've been committed to as of late. Thing number one is I've been committed to knowledge, right? So every single day I try to go to a coffee shop and I read a chapter of a book, right? So in the last 3 months, I've been pouring into 4 different books. I recently just completed Kingdom Man by Pastor Tony Evans, which was an absolutely great book. And then the book I'm working on right now is called 7 Friends That Every Man Needs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's just a beautiful thing. So that's one thing I'm committed to. And the second thing I'm committed to is really pouring into the community. I've been attached to this organization here in Houston called Be Impactful. And, their goal is to impact the community. But one thing that we've been doing as of late is having men's caves events, which creates a safe space for Black men to feel heard, appreciated, to be empathized with, and to really just find solutions moving forward. And I just so happen to be able to be a group facilitator for that. So we finished our last event, which was our 3rd event last month, and we have another one coming up with the YMCA here in Houston that is partnering with 20 high school boys and 20 adult men, and that's something I've been committed to pouring into.
It's awesome stuff.
Love
Stuff.
It,
Good stuff right there.
Love it.
Just keep it going.
Absolutely.
Sir Juan, what's happening with you?
What's not? But in regards to the commitment, still much like Augusta, Rex, community involvement. I spoke before at the beginning of the year when we started this, just about the programs I was working and partnering with at the Academy for the young boys. So now I've been spending the summer just working with a few of my mentees with resume building, interviews, and then just helping them just lock in and secure gainful employment. So my nephew will be one of them as well. So that's pretty much what I've been working on. Just trying to be that source, a resource, not the source, but a resource for these young men.
Oh, so, big things are happening right here on this platform. For me, it's about driving scholarships, right? And now I must say that I have to switch gear a little bit because we have a situation in Jamaica and in other Caribbean islands, right? Where the recent hurricane, that thing they call Beryl, it left a mark, another good mark on the island. So, having to shift focus with that. I want to play a video. It's a little bit noisy that will show a little bit of the destruction. So I think it's a good time to do that. It's a little bit noisy, but bear with it, okay?
Sure.
Pedro Plain School, or what used to be Pedro School. Today we're doing a tour looking at what is left of the Pedro Plain School as a result of Hurricane Beryl. Majority of the school's infrastructure is damaged. Roofing is totally and completely gutted and destroyed. Classrooms are flooded out. Chairs are rotting, and in the schoolyard, debris all around. We are making a special appeal for any assistance, any support for the Pedro Plain School. The Pedro Plain School is housed many students over the years, many accomplished distinguished persons have passed through this institution. And I would hope that this video will bring some light and make the plight more aware to those who was a part of this school. Like myself, this is also my former primary school. And so I would hope that many of you who would have been a part of this institution would be willing to give back. We are going to be asking for any support, any initiative. We may have to do some major fundraisers, major beneficiary events to help bring back the people in school. But as it stands now, it's in total. Pedro Plain School are what you.
So as you can see, it's a problem, right? And as she said, it's in total room. And that's Miranda. She is a teacher herself, and she's also a politician running for office, and that is her constituency. So needless to say, she's out there doing the work. So with our organization at Global Humanity Network, I want, I'm the president of that organization as well. But on this platform, I want to call to attention all A Collision with Purpose community members, and as the president of Global Humanity Network, Inc., I am excited to announce our latest initiative, the Jamaican Hurricane Relief Initiative. JHN is a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're dedicated to supporting and aiding those affected by Hurricane Beryl. Right now, our focus is on Jamaica, where, as you can see from that video, Hurricane Beryl has caused significant devastation. So we're mobilizing resources and calling on you, our community members, with your generous hearts to join us in this mission to bring relief and hope to those in need. Together, we can profoundly impact and help rebuild lives and communities. Your compassion and contributions can make all the difference. Even a small donation can go a long way in providing relief and help to those affected by the hurricane. I will post a link in the chat for you to donate if you see it fit. I want to say that we deeply appreciate your unwavering support. It is your compassion and contributions that make all the difference in our relief efforts. So again, Global Humanity Network is committed to promoting humanity in underserved communities globally. So, gentlemen, that's what's on my plate right now, and that's the reason why there is a shift.
It's
Major
urgency.
Yeah.
Where there is urgency, you got to move, right? You got to do what you got to do, and urgency is the case right now. So,
responding to the need.
Yes, sir. So let me take the opportunity to post in the chat, how you can donate if you care to. And also, we are having a meeting Wednesday. It's going to be an open meeting where we're inviting individuals from wherever they are to join us. It will be Wednesday. It will be a Zoom meeting, and we're hoping to have 70, 80 people on board. So I know you would have received the link from me, and please share it. Please share the link. It's open, and we hope to walk away raising some money during that meeting, some money that can make a significant difference, and provide some aid for these folks who are, Jamaica is not the only country that was impacted. There are other countries. So we'll see what is possible where that is concerned. But for right now, our focus is on Jamaica. Are there any questions regarding the situation there? Any thoughts, any comments?
It's crystal clear.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Straight to the point.
It's clear as day.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is clear. It is clear. There's a need, and at Collision with Purpose, we're all about building communities, right? And that's what it's all about. So, what are we going to talk about tonight? What's the thing that we're going to be talking about is becoming iron, right? So now I'm going to play a video, another video about becoming iron. And after that video, we'll take a break and then we'll come back. We'll come back and talk some more about becoming iron. We'll define what becoming iron is, what it is to be an empowered man, and we'll break it all down. We'll break it all down tonight. All right?
Sir.
In a forge of life where strong survive, a tale is written of hearts that strive. Through fire and flame they find their way, becoming iron where courage holds sway. Becoming iron with hearts forged in fire, tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Becoming iron, shining in the night. The brave man faces the darkest night. The empowered man fights with all his might. The resilient man stands unwavering and strong. The inspired man knows where he belongs. Together they rise, conquering fears, becoming iron through trials and tears. Becoming iron with hearts forged in fire, tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Becoming iron, shining in the night. In the tales of old and the battles new, conviction's light sees them through. From abysses deep to the morning light, they become mine. In the endless fight, becoming iron with hearts forged in fire, tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Becoming iron, shining in the night. In the tales of old and the battles new, conviction's light sees them through. From abysses deep to the morning light, they become mine. In the endless fight, becoming iron with hearts forged in fire, tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Man becoming iron, shining in the night.
Right. Men becoming iron, shining in the night. Wow. What is that all about, becoming iron? I'm going to call on Rex to talk to us about becoming iron. I know we had a conversation, Rex, and we went over this process with you of becoming iron, and tell us what you think. It's Rex, are you hearing me? I'm not sure Rex is here. Augusta, let's go to you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's having some audio issues.
Mm-hmm.
Rex, yeah, I think Rex is having.
Augusta, you move forward. Let's hear your thoughts.
From the standpoint of, I always like the biblical perspective of iron, with the reference of iron sharpens iron. So I think in becoming iron, in becoming this incredible substance that's used to sharpen other things, that's used to hold up other items, it is even the breakdown of the 4 different kinds of men. I've enjoyed like the snippets and the parts of it, and I think it is each of the 4 that you referenced. I think it's important. I think all 4 of those are parts of every man for him to become that iron, for him to become that stronger, for him to really become that man that he needs to be, to hold up and support the things that he's going to in his life. And specifically that iron being able to be struck and being able to maintain form through life. I like the idea of, I think tonight we're discussing the empowered man who, fights with all of his might. And, as somebody who is a father, a survivor of divorce, a long distance dad, a third generation stepfather, all of these things, there's some fighting that you have to do with all of your might to build up that iron. So yeah, very important topic, very important subject. I'm glad we're having it.
Yes, yes, indeed. So we see Rex is back on. Rex, my question to you was becoming iron. What does that mean to you?
Becoming iron, it means taking what life throws at you, and the adversity that God has placed in your path on purpose, and becoming the person that He has created you to be. Becoming iron. I think that's what it is. Becoming a man that's able to handle tasks, becoming a man that's able to provide for his family, becoming a man that's able to not allow adversity or bumps in the road to make him fall and stay on the ground. Becoming iron means that I'm able to ask for help when I need it. Becoming iron means that I'm able to help when needed, and I'm on the front lines because I've built up enough iron, I've built up enough tenacity, built up enough courage to fight.
Mm-hmm. Courage and conviction, I should add.
Sure.
Yes, yes, yes. And we're going to talk a little bit about courage and conviction later on in the show. And Juan, your take on becoming iron?
I think much like Rex and Augusta said, I think it's truly learning from life experiences, the gaining the tools and skill sets and understanding and even wisdom just from the things that you've experienced while on your journey. For me, it's the whole turning losses into lessons. So I think that's a major part of becoming iron is learning how to. My mom would always say, "Well, you got lemons. I know it's sour, but hey, figure out how to make lemonade, make it sweet," is what she would always say. So I guess learning how to make it sweet.
Sure.
Yeah. Is there a connectivity with becoming iron and your purpose?
Absolutely.
I believe so. Absolutely.
And for me, that's what it's all about, right? It's to really, pursuing your purpose and continue to pursue it in a relentless way, no matter what. Nothing can stop you. Having that courage and conviction, knowing that your life is all about your purpose. And I think you'll really achieve that level of becoming iron once you have mastered that pursuit of your purpose and continue to look and search for other elements of your purpose, right? So it's a continuous pursuit, of course, but for me, it's all about your purpose. It's all about your purpose and how well, no matter what, like they said, a brave man, right? He just couldn't, no matter what, he's going to just go, 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 go. He's relentless. And of course, we're not going to talk about the brave man tonight. We're talking about the empowered man. And I know that all of you gentlemen on here represent that man, the empowered man. For one thing, you wouldn't be here tonight, right? You wouldn't be here tonight. So we're going to dig into that right now. We're going to dig into that. And let's stay with Augusta. You're going to be the lead-off person tonight, Augusta, right?
Yeah.
How do you personally define what it means to be an empowered man?
I think empowered and tying it into iron is being the empowered man. So one of the interesting things about iron, and I'll make this quick. Iron kelvins. I'm like a science nerd, so if you go by kelvins, like heat meters and such, you could go to one of the highest points of Kelvin, one of the highest pressure rates, and the iron doesn't break down. Iron simply transitions to another form of iron. So even in that, in my life, and like I said, being a father, all of the pressure, all the heat, man, these bills, these kids, these women, these issues, these jobs, all of this pressure, you say pressure bust pipes, but what do you do in that process? And for me, it's been just transitioning to other forms of iron, transitioning to other forms of Augusta, where I haven't broken down, but I've simply gotten better. Like Brother Juan said, taking those losses and turning them into lessons and not allowing that pressure to break me, but really just allowing it to build a stronger and better version of me, so that then, you know, all of my little irons that I have around here take from that, and they see the processes, and they see that the pressure doesn't necessarily break me down, but that I could turn those losses into lessons and advance upon those things. So
What are two traits, characteristics you believe is essential for you to become iron?
faith and persistence. Faith and persistence.
And the same questions will pass to you, Rex.
To the two traits,
Well, the defining what it means to be an empowered man.
I think Augusta said it really well. It's taking, well, I would say it's taking everything that you've been through and finding a solution to make it through it. And having enough courage. Like I said, everything's about courage and conviction. Having enough courage to continue showing up, to continue showing up for yourself, showing up for your family, and doing what needs to be done. I think that's what it means to be empowered.
Be empowered. And one, can you share a pivotal moment in your life that's significant to shape your journey to becoming an empowered man?
Oh wow. Yes. Real quickly. I'm an open book, so I don't mind sharing. It's definitely been a journey. Matter of fact, this is how my company, my consulting and coaching firm was birthed. But when I was going through a divorce, and I remember laying on the couch coming home, man, and the darkest days, it felt like that apartment used to be warm and just everything else. And I felt like every night the sun was out and it was dark. It was cold, and I just remember laying there one day and I looked at myself. I was like, you really this is how you gonna end it? Like, life is not over. And I remember sitting up and like, you know what? It's not. I'm like, but there's so much more left in me, but I don't know how to get started. I don't know how to get back to it. And I ended up going to counseling and talking with my counselor, and he helped me realize that what you've been going through, those are the tools. That's what you need to move forward. Everything that you've gone through, everything you've experienced, everything you felt, it's in you. So what you get to decide what life looks like from this point on. You get to decide the man that you want to become. You get to decide, you get to define and establish yourself in your name. And just that alone helped me realize that, you know what, I feel empowered. I want to improve myself. I want to get better. This is the man. I made a list. This is the man that I want to be one day. This is the father. This is the whatever it was. And I made a list of those things, and I started working towards those things because I believed that what I needed, I had. I just had to put it to action. And to me, that's what empowered me, understanding that I can take control of my life. I have the power, I have the authority, I have the control of my life, despite what I'm going through or what may seem like it's just out of whack. I'm in control. So let me put my feet flat on the ground and stick my chest out, hold my head up, and move forward. So
they say that the brave man just face the darkest nights, right? And walk through it. And so is that empowered man, right? Nothing is going to stop that man. That is so, Rex, what is your pivotal moment in your life that's significant to shape your journey to becoming an empowered man? And I also want you to talk about some of the biggest challenges that you face along that journey. And how did
you prior to this, I was thinking in my mind, which one of my stories am I going to share? Right. I was like, do I share the story about, overcoming being robbed, or do I share the story about moving to Houston with no money at all? Like, what story? But I think in this moment, the thing that helped me get to where I am is my decision to go from being a promiscuous man to a faithful man. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the empowerment that came from that. So to give you a little bit of background, I share this all the time. I come from a broken home, right? My father was promiscuous. My grandfather was promiscuous. The brothers in the community was promiscuous. And something I shared on the podcast today, I said, your exposure diminishes, your early exposure to sexuality diminishes your conviction. In other words, the things I'm supposed to be convicted by, I'm not convicted by because everybody around me is doing it, right? So if everybody was preaching, shouldn't do this, or how to lead and you should wait and be faithful, or you should wait and be with one woman, then I would have had that in my heart. But I didn't see that. So what was in my heart was I need to go out there and have as much fun, get as much exposure, have as many experiences as possible. So that journey took me through life, early experiences from high school partner of mine getting pregnant, to dealing with that whole situation, to going to Juan and Mr. Coach Stone for guidance, because I didn't have that safety at the house to go to my parents, right? And then to go into college and having an absolute blast, absolute blast in college, but learning that I'm not being as productive because I'm instead of pouring into my future, pouring into my career, pouring into myself, I am pouring into all these women, right? I'm pouring into all these women. And I'm realizing after they go home and after they pack up their bags, it's just me in my room and my thoughts and my feelings. And because those thoughts and those feelings were too grand, they were too deep. It was something I wasn't ready to deal with. I would call somebody else over because I would much rather spend time with that person than to spend time with myself. Right. So,
You have
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
to deal with some loneliness there.
100%. And that's what I was running from. So I had to have the courage to run from that loneliness. And then it came a time where I was extremely convicted in all of my mess. And after that night happened, I called one of my guys and I said, listen, brother, I'm done living this life. I'm done living this life. It was a Saturday night. It was 2 a.m. in the morning. I was like, hey, you cool to go to church in the morning? He was like, let's ride. I went to church with the same outfit that I had on the night before.
Club.
And this was, you feel me? This is 2020. And I told God, I'm done with this. I'm ready to live life like the way you want me to do it. And I know it's not going to be easy. I know it's going to be a challenge. And I still bump my head a little bit down the road. But me making that decision helped me become a better therapist today. Me making that decision helped me become a better person development coach today. Me making that decision allows for me to pour into young men from experience and from exposure, right? So that is essentially how I became who I am today, and is actually how I found my fiance. And that's something new that I didn't share with the podcast, but I actually got engaged 2 months ago, and I feel like if I didn't take those steps to become this person, that would have never been possible, because my mindset wasn't husband based. My mindset was all about fun and pleasing my flesh.
Win, 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 win.
Ooh,
Yes, sir.
man, the doors to the church.
That's good.
The doors to the church. What?
Oh, so Augusta, you care to share your pivotal moment?
Oh man, I would, I feel almost like Rex. Do I share the early struggles with being like a juvenile delinquent? Do I share the beef and lack of dad in the home at a young age? But I think I'm on a very similar page as Juan. I think for me the real change and shift in my life that led to a lot of what I'm doing now was standing in a house, standing on the porch of a house that I paid for, with cars that I paid for, with children that I'd made, and someone coming to my home and giving me the paperwork for my divorce. And I remember, to this day, I tell people it was the hardest night of my life. Was the first night where it was like, it wasn't, it's the difference from, for everybody else in here, I think outside of Rex, we praying for you that you don't have to deal with no divorce. But the remainder of us in here have been through divorce. But it was that first night of being, I went and I stayed with a relative, and that first night of normally getting up and being able to go check on my kids, seeing if my son was okay, my daughter, either, and just that moment, it was a change. It was something that hit me, and then it was almost a feeling of failure, because I remember that my dad had dealt with divorce, his dad divorce, his dad, and I was like, this is a spirit. And I'd always said, I don't want to be like the other Augustas who had this pattern of multiple women, infidelity, woman chaser, fast life, unsuccessful in marriage. And here I was at that point, and I made the decision, okay, this is where being similar to those Augustas stop. This is where we insert continuing to be a present father. This is where we insert not having beef with an ex-wife, but having a cordial relationship so that the children see love and respect. My fiance now, even in meeting her, and being with her, it's, hey, listen, how do I become better for her on a daily basis? How am I present? And all of these things. But that was the moment in my life where I said, we've got to make some kind of change here, because we don't want this pattern that shouldn't be a pattern to continue. It's got to stop. And I decided that day it stops with me.
That's amazing.
You know, powerful stuff here, right? We have backstage Dr. Davidson. We're gonna bring him on the stage so he can join the conversation. Hello, Dr. Davidson. Welcome to the show.
How are you,
Welcome,
sir?
welcome.
Yeah, welcome to Bridging Generation, Voices of Men, and we're talking about becoming iron, the empowered man. And what I'm hearing from you gentlemen, that's a powerful story all the way around. You know, how you, some of the challenges that you face along your way. But I want to talk about role models, because I know we don't walk alone, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, someone assisted you, guided you to overcome some of these challenges and leading to you becoming that empowered man. So Dr. Davis is on, I'm going to talk to him about role models or those that inspired him. Who are some of the individuals in your life, Dr. Davis, that inspired you?
Well, I don't have to think very far. My pastor, he was my neighbor. And basically at the tender age of 6, my dad left and went to England. So he was like a father figure to me.
Amazing.
And what was a pivotal moment in your life? I know you said your dad left. Was there a pivotal moment in your life that guided you and brought you to this place of becoming the empowered man?
Well, as I mentioned before, the church, the whole belief system, have a lot to do with my entire upbringing. I grew up in a very strict United Church. They call it the Presbyterian or the Episcopal. They unite them now and call them United Church of Jamaica and Grand Cayman, but they're part of the Episcopal system, the Presbyterian system. And one of the things that I really use as a guiding force is my belief system. So from my side of it, in life, if you don't believe in nothing, you get nothing, right? So my belief system have a lot to do with me getting empowered and looking to a higher being to guide and direct me. And along the way, I've worked with humans that were very, very supportive and helpful in my entire upbringing. One of the things that I try to avoid is the negativism. So when some of the negative things come my way, I try to avoid it and build on the positive images of humanity to grow. And you guys might not know, but I'm from the beautiful island of Jamaica. And I came here 34 years ago. Well, actually 38 years. So what about those former years? I spent almost half of my life in the island. And being in an island where most of the population does not have that sort of opportunity, you have to dig deep. And you might go and you visit and everything looks nice and beautiful, but it is not what you see. And so you have to be strong and fight a good fight and survive. Thank God I surrounded myself with good quality individuals. So starting out from my church and my affiliates around the church, another very good friend of mine. Well, Dr. Laxley Stephenson is a very good friend. We grew up together, and so he he had left at a certain point. So when he left the island, then we had Dr. Delroy Frey, who I call my best friend, and also Delroy Campbell. He passed away, uh, and Dr. John Bacchus, Gloria Bacchus. Those were the guys that I associated with, and ladies as well. And I tried to emulate them. They were doing exceptionally well in school, and in my mind, I said, look, if they're doing well, I think I can do well. So even though I had less opportunities than most of my peers, I still emulated the some of these key individuals in my life, and I watched them grow. And as they grow, I take the positive from their life and start to build my own system. So I'm one of the escapees. I had to fight hard, dig deep, and I got that maybe the business acumen from my mom, who always had a shop and always in business. So I learned the business aspect of life from her. And at that early age, my dad was a farmer, so he left and went to England. One good thing about it, though, is although he went off to England, he never forgot us. Every single month we could at least rely on him to send money so that we could take care of business. But at the same time, I had three other siblings, and so I had to step up to the plate and help to mold and support my siblings as well. So that early experience as a youth, age 6, helped me to look at myself as a human being and said what it is that you need to get out of life. And so I had a purpose. And the purpose was my mom, who was not even well learned. She said to me, try to get a skill or an education. So she gave me options. Some of the parents would say, okay, go follow education, right? And forget everything else. But my mom gave me options, and I tried all the various options and work hard. And I went the education field, and it paid off magnificent for me as I grow and spend time learning and understanding humanity and develop my skill set. As I told the youngsters nowadays, you have to have something to sell, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing came back to me, and I told my son the same thing. Guess what? Get a skill or an education. You're going to get out there, you're going to need to find a job, right? If you're going to find a job, then what skill sets do you have to do your job?
Yeah.
Right? You're especially, and it's getting more challenging now, especially you wouldn't believe that although we're living in the greatest country on earth, there are still so much challenges, right? I'm in the state of California, and in this state, I try to study the system, right? And so we are in the top 7 richest place in the world when compared with countries. And so I'm looking at my staff, I'm looking at the individual, and I said, okay, how are we going to survive? So we just have to step up to the plate and challenge. Some people challenge the system by having multiple jobs. I have multiple companies. Started out with $500, and we have built an empire to last. And I know that with what I'm doing right now, my staff is benefiting, my family is benefiting, and more so my 3 sons. They're not going to go through the sort of challenges that I have been through, because I am paving the way for them.
Amazing.
Thank you for that, Dr. Davis. So we're talking about becoming iron, the empowered man, tales of courage and conviction. And I'm going to move it to courage and conviction. So, Juan, can you share an instance where you had to stand up for your beliefs despite facing significant opposition?
Oh, me?
One.
These are some good questions.
These questions are questioning, boy. Look.
Right, and it's so many instances, but what came to mind, I'm just gonna go with what comes to mind. I remember being in college, and I had been on my walk with God for a couple of years at this point, and I was in my African American Studies class. And of course, in this class, there are different, theories and ideologies and stories and stuff like that were somewhat conflicting for me and contrary to what I believe just about biblical history and in my Christian faith. And I remember my professor, she's a strong Black woman, she didn't play. And no, it was to the point where students were scared to even raise their hand or even speak up in her class because she shut you down. And I remember there was a story, African story, that she was teaching us that Christian faith was derived from. And it was about a African prince who was sacrificed. Well, he wasn't sacrificed, but his kingdom was under attack. And the only way the kingdom could be saved is if he gave his life. So he decided that instead of sending his armies and allowing his people to suffer, he went instead. And so, of course, you can understand how the story went. And so she's teaching this. And I remember sitting there like, okay. And I remember her. It's like she would pick me out. I ain't say nothing, but she was like, "Juan, what is the look on your face?" I'm like, I said, "I'm struggling with that." I said, "She said, well, this is an old story. It's older than the Bible." She was going in, and so I started giving her just context and historical, stuff about the Bible and stuff like that. And we were going back and forth. She's well read and read versed, and I remember catching her on this point, and I remember her saying this. She stopped. Because everybody was looking like, dang, he has a point. And I remember her looking at me and said, "You know what? You know a lot, but the problem is you have no power. No one knows you, and you don't have a voice, so it doesn't matter." And I remember sitting in class like, huh. And instead of letting it get to me, I started going back to class, not to challenge her, but then I started hearing my own voice. And so when called upon, no one else would speak. So the more I started to speak out, people, you start seeing all these other hands going up, all these other, they call them closet Christians, finding their voice. And they started speaking up or just asking questions. And I remember, and Dr., I want to say her name, she's well respected, but I remember at the end of the semester, of course, I got an A in the class, and I remember her coming to me. She would never speak to me before when I would see her in the hall, stuff like that. I remember passing the class, and I remember being on campus at Georgia State, and she saw me, and she, like, with most joy and excitement, she said, "Juan Smith." I was like, "Hey, Doc." And she came and gave me a hug, and she was asking me how things were going. She was like, "You know what?" She was like, "I wanted to tell you then." She was like, "Who you are, she said, your presence carries much more weight than you realize. And never let anybody discourage you from speaking and using your voice. Because you had me challenged when I was in class. And I've been teaching this class for a long time. And I honor and respect you. When I left that class, I knew you were one person that would be somebody that was worth contending with. And your voice is definitely one that's worthy to be heard. So don't ever let anybody tell you differently." And coming from her, it meant so much. And I started to really get more comfortable with speaking publicly. But before that class, I mean, she was raw, man. But I found myself in the class. I actually had to learn why I believed what I believed and what it meant, what my foundation really was. It wasn't enough to just say this God that I learned in church or this God of my mom or whomever else. I really had to show up in that class, and African American Studies pushed me. So that was definitely my example with me coming to that point in life.
I appreciate it, Juan. And I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, I'm actually to keep it a little bit shorter. We only have so much time, and we have so many questions to cover tonight. All right. So try and get it to where you need to get it, but do it in a more precise way. So, Rex, How do you cultivate and maintain courage in the face of adversity?
Say that question one more time.
How do you cultivate and maintain courage in the face of adversity?
By understanding who I am and whose I am. I think that's the biggest thing. I can't say this verse verbatim, but it said, and then Jesus was talking, and he said, "Who those who believe in me will do great things, and even greater things than I've done." And the idea of that is the fact that he is saying what you have inside of you is so great that you're going to be able to do a lot of many things, but you have to believe it. And I think that's going to be the simple answer, is realizing who I am and whose I am, and the fact that he put something in me that's so great that people are going to need it. And I just got to find my people that I'm aligned with. And once I find them, that's going to be that courage. And that's going to be that motivation I'm going to continue to need to keep pushing.
Rex, you give me no choice but to ask you, who is Rex?
Man, Rex is a king. That's the definition of the word. But Rex is a go-getter. Rex is the definition of sacrifice, commitment, and perseverance. Rex is a God-fearing man. Rex is committed to change, committed to adapting, committed to finding solutions, and committed to impacting the world. That's what Rex is.
All right, I appreciate that, Rex. And I'm going to go to Augusta. After that, I'll go to Dr. Davidson. So, Augusta, I want you to share an instance where you had to stand up for your beliefs despite facing significant opposition.
Done it a lot in my life, and very similar to Juan. I'll make it short. I was a freshman in high school. I had all honors classes. My mother will tell you I could have skipped multiple grades because I always had an aptitude for knowledge, despite lacking some interest in school at times. And I had a teacher by the name of Mr. Nagel. Mr. Nagel had a doctorate in, I believe it was historical studies. And on the first day of my freshman honors chemistry class, he said, "We talk everything in here, but we don't talk God because God doesn't exist," and this and this and that. And I went to church with 2-3 people in the class. And I said, "Yeah, I can't really agree with that." And I was the only freshman in the class. And he said, "Why?" I said, "Well, he said, in this class, we don't talk about things that don't breathe, we can't see, we can't touch." And I simply presented to him, I said, "Well, you believe in the air." And he said, "Well, you can touch the air." I said, "Well, the air isn't really, he said, we have wind." I said, "Well, wind isn't really that. Wind is really just a combination of thrust and movement of the earth and temperatures that cause the movements." And he was upset with my very science-based answer for a religious issue. That was my first day in that class. I spent my first week of high school suspended from school because of that answer. I came back and my football coaches and everyone were highly upset. But as the kids will say, I stood on business because I said, "Look, man, I don't agree with this. And just because you're someone who believes you're an authority, and specifically because you're older than me, doesn't necessarily mean that you have the right answer. It just means that God has blessed you to live longer. And you might have some different insight, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're right." And I stood on business, and I took my suspension like a 14-year-old man.
We're talking about becoming iron tales of courage and conviction. And today we're discussing the empowered man. So I'm going to move to Dr. Davidson. And Dr. Davidson, can you share an instance when you had to stand up for your belief despite facing significant opposition?
Oh yes, number of occasions. I know. Basically, let's start out at an early age. I have 3 quick instances. One at high school. When I left junior high, I got a first place, right, in my class, and then went on to high school, and I was placed in a lower level school, a lower level class, and I had to move out of that class and place myself in a higher level class, and you know what, the teacher still placed me in the lower level class. I went out to a second level and she still placed me in the class. So what I did was I said, "You know what, I'm going to do my best in this class." And I was first in the class. And then was able, when I moved to the next grade, was able to get to a higher level. Went on to college now, right? And I'm in college doing exceptionally well. All of a sudden now, I was placed to teach at one of the best high schools in the island. And I specialize in sports medicine, right? So I'm moving on to Homewood Technical High School, top sports school in the country. And the next day I went back where they had a placement list, and my name was taken off. That was my dream, to go to teach at this super high school as a national coach. And I was removed and sent to a junior high school to work. And when I went there, and I'm in sports, right? Then you look and you see the games field. There's no games field for me to work. And guess I ended up teaching one of Jamaica's top artists in that school, and he became the captain of my team. And even in that rough terrain, we were able to win we play cricket at that time, win the national championship for cricket under 16, even in the face of adversity, lack of support and feel, but we were able to get that. And to tackle that, I was an internship, right? So I ended up getting a straight A for my dissertation, and became top of the class at the graduation ceremony, where I got the prize for the most effective teacher of physical education and health. Amazing. So with all the adversity, I did not give up. I could see the fight in me, where that did not stop me from progressing as an individual. And there are instances, but I'll give somebody else the opportunity to share.
Thank you, Dr. Davidson. And I just, to put it out there, the empowered man fights with all his might. And that's what we're talking about tonight, the empowered man, right? So I think it's a good time to take a quick break. This time let's go off screen, and let me see best way to go off screen here. Yeah, let's go off screen this way.
In the forge of life where strong survive, a tale is written of hearts that strive. Through fire and flame they find their way, becoming iron where courage holds sway. Becoming iron with hearts forged in fire, tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Becoming iron, shining in the night. The brave man faces the darkest night. The empowered man fights with all his might. The resilient man stands unwavering and strong. The inspired man knows where he belongs. Together they rise, conquering fears, becoming iron through trials and tears. Becoming iron with hearts forged in fire, tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Becoming iron, shining in the night. In the tales of old and the battles new, convictions light sees them through. From abysses deep to the morning light, they become mine. In the endless fight, becoming iron with hearts forged in fire, tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Becoming iron, shining in the night. In the tales of old and the battles new, convictions light sees them through. From abysses deep to the morning light, they become mine. In the endless fight, becoming iron with hearts forged in fire, tales of courage and conviction rising even higher, displaying strength in the fiercest
Oh, common iron with hearts forging fire. Tales of courage and conviction rising even higher. Displaying strength in the fiercest fight. Becoming iron shining in the night. How about that?
Yes, sir.
Big stuff, big stuff, big stuff. So let's move it to empowerment in our daily lives, right? Because with all said, we're living today. So how are we using that empowerment to impact things around us, right? Our situation and so forth. So let me start with Rex. What daily practices or habits do you implement to stay empowered and focused?
Well, three. One is in prayer. Like I said, got to stay connected to the source. That's kind of the biggest thing. The second thing is knowledge. Like I said before, I spend at least an hour reading on a day-to-day basis so I can stay on top of my game, stay on top of my knowledge. And three, I have a podcast with a good friend of mine named Let's Talk Like Men. And we record once a week, but we post clips 3 times a day. And like last month, over our TikTok and our Instagram platform, we received over 2 million views, right? So a lot of different people reaching out. Hey, we love the content. We like the fact that you young brothers have so much wisdom that you're willing to share. You're being transparent, you're being vulnerable. So in order for me to present myself to the world on a day-to-day basis, in order for me to present myself to God and present myself to just the people that are in alignment with me, I have to make sure I'm on top of my game. So that's how I would stay empowered.
Awesome, awesome. Juan, I'm going to pass that question to you.
I would say much like Rex, most definitely. I would say personal and spiritual and physical development. Like I'm getting older, so it's a fight. It's definitely it's a point for me to make the time to work out and stay fit. One thing I do, my conviction. We talk about conviction, is that as much time and thought as I put into my physical development, that's how much time and thought I should put into my personal and spiritual and mental and development. So much like Rex is just getting up and devotion, man, just really taking a hold of my mind and my thoughts before my feet even hit the ground, so I can actually have a plan for the day, his plan for the day. And then I get up and I just, just like I said, organization, writing out what the day looks like and just moving ahead. So definitely starting the day off with affirmations, prayer, and definitely devotion. That's how I stay. That's the only way I know how to stay empowered, because that day brings its own troubles. So yeah, definitely waking up in the morning and just make sure my mind is together.
Awesome. So Augusta and Dr. Davidson, this one is for you. This question, that is, right? We have a personal and we have a professional life, right? So my question is, how do you balance vulnerability and strength, right? Vulnerability and strength in your personal and professional relationships. Augusta, will go with you first.
I would say I think the word vulnerability, to even be vulnerable, takes a level of strength. I've said this before. For you, being transparent is something I tell you that you would find out. Vulnerability is me letting you in on something you would never know if I did not tell you. So for me, from the professional side, I don't give a lot of vulnerability on the professional side for people who I don't really have a lot of trust in. I'm very good at keeping work and keeping work professional. And then in my personal life, those who I do trust, those who are in my circle, those who, like I learned post-divorce and through some tragedies in life, the people who I could actually call on, or those people who call me, as my aunt would say, God brought me up and I decided to call you. Those people who I'm vulnerable with. I understand the balance, because to even use the word vulnerability, there's a level of love and trust and investment that you have in a person. And at times in my professional life, I don't have a lot of that with those people because I don't have that time and investment. But in my regular everyday life, I make sure every day that those people who I am vulnerable with, I make sure to speak with them, and not just speak with them. I make sure to let them know, hey, I love you and you're appreciated, so that we can maintain that trust and that investment and that time and that love and that vulnerability space.
Dr. Davidson?
Well, at this present stage of my life, one of the things that really that I utilize very strongly is that I've been in business for 38 years. So with me being in business, what I did was at the early stage is to build a system to last and to create that level of independence. So that I can survive the challenges of life. And I have a wonderful lady that I met when I was 16 years old, and we're still together. And so she is my rock too, and my support team. You know, she basically veer off into the banking field, and while she's hustling, working her day-to-day job, I was able to build my system and build a system to last. So she helped to shield and protect me from some of the issues surrounding the day-to-day activities. And apart from the fact that because I'm self-employed for 38 years, you know, I'm able to do the things that I enjoy. And so I create opportunities for vacation and time off. And also I empower my staff to get the job done so that I do not have to be there on a day-to-day basis to ensure the work is done. So what you do, you build a system around you, a team around you that you can rely on to get the work done. And so that help you along the way to ensure your protection and to get things the way you want to get it done.
Good.
Thank you for that, Dr. Davidson. So we've said it before, I'm going to say it again. We do not walk alone, right? And we're not here to do the work just to serve us. So I'm going to talk about impact on others. And Juan, we'll start with you. How do you strive to empower other men in your community or in your network in general?
I would say, you know, we talk about this a lot, but I always start with understanding someone's story. That's the first question I always ask them whether we are brought together through referral or recommendation. However our lives cross paths, I always ask that story. You know, ask that question. You know, what is your story? I think in that I'm able to gain just understanding of who they are. And what their interests or passions or aspirations are. So I think that's where I start with it when it comes to empowering men, is understanding where they are and where they come from.
I thank you for sharing that, because of course we have the brave man, right? We have the empowered man, the resilient man, and what's the other one? Come on now, help me now.
Hold on. I'm about to be able to tell you in a second.
This is a test.
It's open book.
Is it the influential man?
The inspiring man, the empowered man, resilient man, and the brave man. Inspiring.
Inspired man. All right. And what is significant here is together they're strong, right? So you need a little bit of everything, right? And if you don't have that yet, you need to get it from somewhere else. So you need to bring them into your life. So this impact thing is about that, right? And this next question I want to ask Dr. Davidson: how can men support each other? We're talking about together. They're strong, right? In their empowerment. How can men support each other in their empowerment and personal growth journey?
First thing is, to whom much is given, much is expected, right? So sometimes you look at your resume and you see individuals that are very involved in community development activities. And I told my wife whenever she asked me about why I'm so involved, I said, that's my church. It's a way of giving back and to help humanity. It's not all about you. Yes, because you cannot do it alone. So while you are improving and doing things in life, you have to empower individuals to step up to the plate, to succeed, and to help to change their lives. And so you provide that level of support and guidance. And not only guidance, you provide the opportunities for individuals to be empowered by a number of things, creating jobs, or being part of a social network, being part of a cricket team, a group of guys that you try to empower to hone in and develop their skill sets. And it can be, instead of saying cricket, you could say soccer, right? Or sports, or social activities, because that help as part of the total development of the individual. So helping others is of critical importance.
Of critical importance. All right, we're going to move on to lessons learned, right? Because in life, it's all about what? It's less about the win and more about the lessons, right? But that is how we grow and become better. So, Rex, what are two of the most important lessons that you have learned about courage and conviction?
I spoke on this today on our actual podcast. One of the biggest things I would say is it's as the weight of life gets heavy, it's okay to ask for help, right? Because I was always taught that you don't ask for help, you figure out a way to make it happen. So it's not passing the weight to somebody else, it's getting stronger so I can carry the weight. But I've realized that sometimes when you try to carry too much weight, you can slow yourself down, right? So the biggest thing is being okay with asking for help, because if you grew up in an environment like I did that it wasn't safe to ask for help, that's something that you don't want to do. And I said that I learned how to manipulate a conversation and vent to people in a way that I'm asking them without directly asking them for their help. So to take that away, now I'm in this place of my life where if I need something, I'm going to say, this is what I need. And when people ask me, I'm not going to beat around the bush and lie like I don't need it. Like a perfect example, I had a business coach ask me the other day. He said, Rex, you got a lot of great things going on. How can I help you at this time? And I would normally say, well, you know what? I'm good to go. But I didn't want to lie in that moment. I said, actually, there's a lot of things that I have that I want to do. I just don't have the finances for it. And so I said, that's where I can use your help. And we came up to an agreement and a solution for that purpose. And it was all because I had the courage to ask. So that's what I would say. It's okay to ask for help, especially when you need it.
Thank you for sharing that, Rex. So that's so important. But too often we believe we know it all and we have it all, right?
Yep.
When that's never the case. Never the case, right? So, Juan, same question to you.
Real simply, I've been saying this all year. Two things: do it scared, and the second one is this revelation I got some time ago. Is that shadow is only an indication that light is present. And that has been my thing. When looking at things ahead that seem so intimidating and so scary, seeming like it's a shadow, blocking the light, and I had to realize to just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. It's light on the other side. What you need and what's waiting on you is on this other side. Matter of fact, you ain't got to walk around it. Just walk through it. So,
as the brave man would, right? Just walk through the darkest night to get to the light. And Augusta.
Sir.
Same question. Important lessons about courage and conviction.
I believe every day that you get up and you decide and you're blessed to walk and breathe and air in your lungs and the ability to move around, you're going to be faced with a decision about courage and conviction every single day. Last month was Men's Mental Health Month, and I like what Rex said about being intentional, being straightforward. I could say this, even in conversations last month, I disclosed to my fiance. Last month, I spoke to two relatives of mine, male, married, children. One thing seemed great on social media, the other one not so much. But I had to ask each one of them, out of my mouth, clearly, are you thinking of harming yourself? Do you want to be here tomorrow? And in moments like that, the fact that you could get up in the morning and decide, I want to live, I want to pursue, I want to go, that's courage. That's courage. It takes, and it seems small to us because you just get up and you go about your day and you work and you pod and you sell and you clock in and you do what you do, not understanding it takes courage and conviction to get up and decide to do those things every single day. I'll leave it with this. I do a lot of documentaries and reading and all that, and I saw regarding men's mental health that in the year 2023, over 100,000 men committed suicide who were just in the construction field. Now, when they say construction, that's welding, that's pipe fitting, that's union jobs where the average salary is between 80 to 130,000. The 1% of people, and 100,000 of these men took their lives. Men who had money, men who had everything that you would think. And I thought in those moments, that's big. It is courage and conviction to get up every day to say, I'm not going to let life beat me or stress or pressure or anything else. So I think every day you get up, you're faced with a decision on courage and conviction. And are you going to be courageous? And are you going to have a level of conviction to live and to want to be here?
The most basic courage and conviction is to get up, to rise up again, to face the day. And that is so true. Well said. Well said. Dr. Davidson.
Yeah, one of the things that comes to mind is the importance of caring and the love for people, or I usually use the word the love for humanity. If you really don't care, then you're going to turn that into selfishness. And then that's going to basically block you from have the courage and the conviction to move forward. The next one that I think is big on my list is to challenge the status quo. Don't just sit and take things for granted, but challenge not only the humanity, but challenge yourself to move forward and to get the things that you need to get done, and to have a plan as you manage courage and conviction.
Amazing.
Thank you, Dr. Davidson. Now, gentlemen, you're now in a position to give advice. That's exactly what we need to do. And we'll start with Juan. If you could, and yes, you can, give one piece of advice to men seeking to empower themselves, what is that one? Just one.
I would say you already are what you are fighting to become. It's in you. You already got it. All the tools, it's already in you. You got it. You
So
already are there.
let me follow up on that. So what do they need to do then? Where's the gap? What is wrong?
Well, I think, we talked about asking for help. I think the follow-up to that would be understanding what I'm fighting to become, right? Who I'm trying to be. And I understand that I'm doing my work. Then the next question would be, who do I need to connect myself to? Who has or who has been where I'm trying to get to? Who do I know?
Right.
What does my circle look like?
That circle is important, right? Who is in your circle? All right, Augusta.
Sir.
I know you like to give advice. Here's an opportunity to do it in this platform.
Oh man, I think because I deal in the space with a lot of fathers, stepfathers, and men through divorce, specifically with what I see a lot of on social media, and I'll use these words for if a younger crowd happens to be watching this. Don't crash out. Don't Rex knows what I'm saying. Don't crash out, man. There is you could try and change who you are on the top layer, man. You was who you was before you got here. From the great wordsmith Jay-Z, like Juan said, there's something in you and everything around you. Don't let it affect you. Don't let it change you, because there's something greater inside of you. Don't crash out, specifically over spouses, exes, children, bills. Like I said earlier about pressure, like you are, you're not to say, if you're a man, you're built for it, But if you have the right people around you, man, don't crash out. Don't stress. Don't let life get you to the point where you make the decision that you are no longer important enough to be in this world. Make the decision every day to get up and push through. Don't crash out. Don't let anybody get you out of your character. Be who you have been called to be, and you'll be just fine.
That's good.
Powerful. Yeah, before we move to the next person, I want to read this comment from Hilda Siebert. Courage comes from within as well as from others. Courage is a part of self-empowerment. With courage, there's movement, and with movement, there's outcome. Asking for help is a motivation to get ahead. Ask is either yes or no. Asking is critical to the outcome for help. Thank you, Hilda, for your comment. We appreciate that. You're so on point. And I think it's a good time to say, Pastor Laxley, thanks for joining us. And for all who join us today or who will be sharing the stream, we appreciate that, because this type of conversation we're having is not something that we should lock away at a platform. It is so powerful and so important. So please share. What they say, sharing is what?
Sharing.
And that's what this is all about. Here at A Collision with Purpose, we're all about building communities, right, Juan?
Absolutely.
Building communities, empowering
Absolutely.
people, lifting people up. That's what we do here. Who is next on the question for advice?
Oh, I'll jump in. Just wanted to add to what the panel is sharing, but I think what we should do is challenge your innate ability. Every human being have some level of talent, and it's sitting right there. So continue to challenge yourself and work hard to succeed.
Sure.
And success doesn't necessarily be a monetary thing, because you have to edify yourself and be the human that you can be, the best that you can be.
That's good.
I like it, Doc. I like it.
Important. Big stuff here. Big stuff. Thank you, Doc. And Rex, you're on deck.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna keep this. It took me 28 years to get to where I am, right? 28 years. But it wasn't until I was 25 to when I realized what was inside of me, right? I knew I had greatness in me because everybody was telling me, but it took me 25 years to convince myself that what they were saying was true and to identify those things. With that being said, there was a lot of negative beliefs that I had about myself. I'm not good enough. I'm going to be like them. I can only make it so far. It was all these negative beliefs that I had to tackle. So my advice to any brother, any woman that's out there listening is to work with somebody, connect with somebody to help you tackle what those negative cognitions are, what those negative core beliefs are about yourself that's preventing you from becoming the person that you need to be. And if you need help or assistance of any kind, I am a coach and a therapist, and all you got to do is go to resolvecc.com, and I'll take care of you.
Just like that.
Shameless plug.
It's actually a good plug, because what we're all about is building, and within this platform, the resources that we have, we must put it out there. It's not often when you come on a platform like this and with so much talent, and we want to build and promote, edify where we can, and do all of that good stuff. So put it in the chat. Now, we're getting close to wrapping up. All right. As we always say, time go by fast when we are having fun and when it's important. So let's talk about future goals. All right. And we're going to make this real short, gentlemen. Real, right? I'm going to ask Juan, I'm going to start with you. What are your future goals or aspirations in continuing to grow as an empowered man?
Oh, well, of course, working on getting a seat, city official, board of education, looking into those, doctorate, and family. So, and author. So I'm working on those currently.
One is already a done deal. Becoming Iron, you'll be writing your chapter. And that will be a bestseller. And not only a bestseller, it'll be a footprint
Absolutely.
for men.
Absolutely.
That's how powerful this Becoming Iron Tales of Courage and Fiction is going to be, right? So you've already checked off a few of those, right? And there's some other stuff coming for you that we will announce soon, right? It will be announced soon. And all that stuff about a seat at the table, one of our objective here on this platform is to build leaders. And you're in the target. You're one of those leaders that we're building. So everything you just said will become reality. It will come true.
Yes, sir.
No ifs and buts about it. And you know why it will come true? Because that's what we're building.
Yes.
That's what we're
What
working.
we're about. Yes, sir.
We're not operating by chance over here. We're not into that business, right? We're all about purpose. So, Augusta, you're on. Future goals.
Future goals, continuing to strive to improve myself as a man and a father, completing this devotional that I'm currently writing for fathers. I'm writing a 30-day devotional for fathers, and every day that I get up, I dedicate my time to that. So I'm looking forward to, before the year, putting that out and engaging men who are dads, whether they be present, outside, inside, and giving them something, you know, that morning gratitude and insight to look forward to keep them continuing to choose that courage and that conviction for life and blessed fatherhood.
Awesome.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving here, gentlemen. Rex?
So a huge goal of mine is to start a personal development academy for young Black men. Of course, I would love to pour into the adult men, but I think getting my hands on the younger brothers before the world gets them is something that I truly want to focus on. When it comes to emotional intelligence, when it comes to showing up for your partner, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to just spiritual development, I truly want to get my hands on the younger brothers so they can have that influence and be empowered stepping into the older phase of life.
Love it.
Thank you. Big stuff there. Dr. Davidson?
My primary focus is to continue to provide the leadership to empower humanity.
That's good.
And so this forum is a very, very interesting one. And it's an opportunity for us to basically help our brothers and sisters as we grow and to leave a legacy, because we're not going to be here forever, right?
No, sir.
So how about you leaving your legacy for somebody else to continue to build on and to grow, with the idea of ensuring that you'll leave a better place when you move on to the next phase of your life.
Yes, sir.
True story.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Davidson. Now, here's an opportunity for closing arguments, all right? Closing arguments. And I want you to do it following this guideline. How do you envision contributing to the broader conversation on male empowerment and personal development? So who would like to go first? And this is your closing argument as well. And again, keep it to 2 minutes, please, because the clock is running. We're running out of time.
I think we should start with Augusta. He's been leading us all night. So
Augusta, your co-host.
Man, I thought it was gonna be Juan. Repeat the question really quick, Doc. Repeat the question really quick, Doc.
All right. So this is your closing argument, but I want you to do it considering how do you envision contributing to the broader conversation about male empowerment and personal development as well?
I believe I'm going to do that by continue to be me and just living my life. I think the way that you live your life every day, choosing to live, choosing to be great, choosing to let the will of God dictate what you're doing, That's how you empower people. They see you, they see your successes, they see you bounce back from your failures, they see everything that you're doing, and they go, that is someone that I want to be like. I aspire to be like them. So I want to continue to live my life, continue to succeed, continue to be who God called me to be, and that the people around me and people who don't know me, who see me, go, that is something I aspire to be. That is something that in him is something infectious and is causing me to change and want to be better.
Mm. Thank you so much, Dr. Davidson.
I think to continue to work with humans, individuals that share your belief system, and even if some does not even share that belief system, is to empower them and to do your best so you can leave a legacy behind.
Yeah.
Big stuff there. How important is it to leave a legacy? That's what it's all about, right?
Yes, sir.
That is indeed what it's all about, leaving that legacy behind. And we're talking about modeling positive behavior impacts. Thank you, Hilda, for sharing with us here. We like to get that conversation from those listening and watching us. So who's next with their closing argument?
I'll go ahead and say mine. The focus for me is to continue to become, because the more I become, the more I can give, the more influence I have, the more impact that I can have. If I continue to stay who I am today and where I am today, I can only impact the people I've already done. But in order to do more, to impact more, I got to continue to become more.
Continue. Appreciate that. Juan,
the closer.
No.
The closer.
The closer.
Closer.
You know what? Everybody pretty much touched on it. What I'm going to say is just showing up for, I would say myself. I've just thought through a couple of opportunities that I'm already a part of, and workshops and just communities that I'm in that are made up of men, and just showing up in those communities and just like Augusta and Rex was saying, and just being myself, and being an example. Just being that, what we say, that written letter. So just continuing to doing that and just cultivating these relationships in the communities that I'm already a part of.
Mm. All right. I appreciate that, gentlemen. I appreciate that. First, let me say thank you for coming on the platform, to spending your time with us tonight. Juan, you're a co-host. Augusta, you're a co-host. Rex, you're a regular now.
Regular.
And Dr. Davis, this is your first time on. We appreciate you coming on and sharing with us tonight. Valuable information. So let me say that in a world that persistently tests our strength, becoming iron, tales of courage and conviction, it is a powerful collection of life's events that illuminates the resilience, bravery, and unwavering spirit in men from all walks of life. And that's what you're hearing tonight, right? This book that we're about to put together will honor the essence of masculinity. And that is a trait that unites us all. And it will invite you to engage with these tales of exceptional courage and unwavering conviction. It reminds you that your odyssey is not a solitary one. And that's what we're learning, right? For together, we will all rise together, right? But so we're part of a larger narrative of resilience and courage. And that is what will keep us connected to the larger community of men who have faced and triumphed over adversity. So within the pages of this book, you're going to discover tales of men who, much like us here, face seemingly unsurmountable challenges, right? But they clung to their principles, adapted to changes, and transformed their trials into triumphs, right? So there will be gripping accounts of personal struggles to inspiring journeys of self-discovery and moral strength. So I just want to share that, and again, this book will be a tribute to the fathers, sons, brothers, and friends who embody the true spirit of manhood, right? Becoming Iron stand as a testament to the extraordinary potential within every man to rise above challenges and stay true to their conviction and emerge more valued and vital than ever. It will be a wellspring of inspiration that not only empowers you to live courageously with conviction, but also encourages you to excel beyond all expectations, thereby playing a pivotal role in your personal growth and empowerment. So that is what I want to share. And again, I want to say thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. I'm going to ask that, let me post this again because good, very inspirational stuff. And, you know, I like inspiration, but I also like to take it beyond inspiration, to take it to action, right? And that's what this thing is all about. That's what the Collision with Purpose movement is all about. You know, inspiring others, but taking another step to action. We need to turn our words into action, into results. And that's what this thing is all about. So I'm going to ask you gentlemen to just stay behind, but I'm going to play one more video because there's another book that is getting ready. It's actually up for pre-order. So I'm going to play a video from that book. And but before I play it, I'm going to post Donna, can you post those links in the private chat for this book? And one of the reasons why I'm playing this is we are taking on an initiative, a Global Humanity Network. And Donna told me that I should make, for every book that we sell over the next week or so, we will make a significant donation to Global Humanity Network Initiative, the Jamaica Hurricane Relief. So I'm going to play, we're going to post in the chat the links for these books. And if you purchase one from our website, everything but the cost for producing the books will go to that fund to support people in need in Jamaica. So stand by, I'm going to play the video.
Dr. Laxley leading the way, boldly, yeah. Dr. Laxley, all got tales to tell, unearthing secrets where the truth dwells. Daily insights with Dr. Stephenson's case, navigating the depths of wisdom's maze. Knowledge unfolds in its embrace. We stay with Dr. Laxley leading the way. Through the annals of time, we walk and learn. Each fact a treasure at every turn. Dr. Stephenson's voice, calm and profound. When questions need answers, insights are found. Daily insights with Dr. Stephenson's gaze, navigating the depths of wisdom's laws and ends refined. In the world of wisdom where thoughts entwine. Daily insights with Dr. Stephenson's gaze, navigating the depths of wisdom's laws and ends refined. With Dr. Laxley lead the way. So raise a toast to those who inspire. With Dr. Laxley we never tire. Daily insights where we all unite under the banner of insights like regard.
Right. So that's the book, Daily Insights Unveiled, Personal Odyssey to Find Purpose. And I promise you, this is a must-read book. This is a book that you turn to any page and you'll be a new person. You'll be transformed. And get it. That's all I can say. But get it now because you want to support this Global Humanity Network initiative. and that's a good reason to purchase it. So, Juan, you want to take us out?
Absolutely. Hey, real quick, like I said earlier, whatever your aspirations are, whatever your dreams are, what you need to get there is already within. Tap into who you are from the inside out. You got what you need. Keep moving forward. Don't get discouraged. Use your losses, turn them into lessons, make your mistakes. Look, just turn it around. You know, it's not a mistake if you learn from it. So you already are what you were fighting to become. Trust that, believe that, trust God, and trust the God in you. Y'all have a great evening. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see y'all same time next week. Have a good one.
And let me add that we will be talking about the resilient man. And the resilient man stands unwavering and strong. All right. So thanks again for joining us. And we're out. Blessings always. And just stay backstage for a second. Okay.
All right. Thank you.